What's up guys, and welcome to part 4 of the series. Those who are just joining me, this is a series that is looking to help give advice, tips from my experience, and it's due to popular request. Probably a lot of people asking questions about the Royal Marines and training, etc, etc. So it's the 4th part, so if you haven't seen parts 1, 2 or 3, they're worth a look. I'll link them in below and end screens as well. I didn't really want to make this video, but I have been getting a lot of questions on this topic, so I want to address it now, and you would probably, hopefully by the end of the video, understand why I didn't really want to make this video in the first place. So this video is about the commando tests. So the commando tests are 4 tests that you do at the end of training, week 30, 31, if I remember correctly. When you've completed all of them, you're given your green beret and you are now a commando. The week starts off on the Saturday with the endurance course. So the first one is the endurance course, and that's a 6 miler. The first 2 miles are across quite arduous terrain, so it's up and down, it's up hills, and it's not a path or a track. It's you're running through mud, and you're running through rivers, and you're going through tunnels and crawling through tunnels and underwater, fully submerged tunnels underwater, etc. So there's a route you've got to go. You run the first section as a group of 4. So you do a practice run, and then on the actual day, then they rank you with people. They match you up with people who've got a similar time, so you're not dragging people behind because you've got to stay as a 4 for the first part. So you all run off and you do your first 4 part. Once you complete the tunnel that's fully submerged underwater, it's individual from there, and you can just run off from your group if needs be. Once you've done the 2 miles then of tunnels, etc., you've got a 4 mile run then back to camp. A lot of that is down lanes. So you'll be running down lanes, and the route, you will know the route by this point because you've done that run loads of times. We get back to camp then, so you fire 10 shots at a target and you've got to get 6 out of 10. So by that point you should be able to get 6 out of 10, and I don't know anyone who's actually not been able to do that at that stage. So on the endurance course, you're running it with your webbing on and your kit on, so your webbing goes on your waist and over your shoulders, and that's got to weigh 21 pounds, and then you've got to carry your rifle as well. At the time we were using the SA-80, and that weighed about 10 pounds, so it worked out in total, you were carrying about 31 pounds in total. When I did it, I had 72 minutes to complete the course. I think it's a little bit more now. I'm told that's because they changed the route apparently, rather than being made easier, so apparently it's a little bit longer now. I think maybe 74 minutes or something. What some of the newer guys will hopefully comment below and just let me know what the actual time is, and then most people will do it well under that. There's no tests then on Sunday. The next test being Monday morning. We've got the 9 mile speed march. That's the second commando test. 9 mile speed march is, as it sounds, you're speed marching as a group across 9 miles, and that's they're in the lanes that are quite near camp. So you should be familiar with those lanes at that point. You should be familiar with speed marches, and to be honest, quite an easy one. I mean, if I went and did it now, I'd struggle, but at that point in time, I think going through training, doing speed marches and being used to carry your weight, say exactly the same as the endurance course. You've got to do the speed march with your webbing and kit, so 21 pounds on your webbing and 10 pound rifle. On Tuesday then, which will be the 3rd commando test, it is the Tarzan assault course. Now, Tarzan assault course, it's on camp, it's on base, so you should have seen it if you've ever been down there. If you've ever been on PRMC, you should have seen it. So it is an aerial assault course. You start off, you climb up these ladders, and then there's what's called a death slide, where you get a rope over the thing and slide down another rope. And then you begin the course running off, up ladders, crawling across ropes, and doing all sorts of kind of obstacles, cargo nets, running, jumping, climbing up ropes, and swinging off ropes and things like that. Then you do that one with kit. So again, 21 pounds with a rifle. I mean, the first section is a lot of upper body strength, a lot of technique is needed as well, but you are taught those techniques. I'm not going to sit here and try and tell you how to train for that, because you get taught all of it before you actually do the course. Once you've done the aerial assault course bit, there's a bit of a run. Exact distance, I don't know, I think it's about 800 metres, I want to say. Again, don't quote me on that, but I think it's about 800 metre run with your kit, and then you start the normal assault course again. So you've got to run on a post, and then you start off with your normal sort of course. You don't jump with your tank trap, your 6 foot walls, you're crawling in the nets and things like that. Just note as well, there's also a full regain. A regain is basically you crawl along a rope that's suspended on a chasm, and you've got to kind of crawl along it, and then you've got to fall off, just your hands, and then pull yourself up and swing yourself back up onto the rope, and then crawl back along it again. You're told the technique on how to do that, so you've got to fall off and get yourself back on. You're told that technique, so by that point you should be able to do it. Completely sort course, and then there's a 30 foot wall, 30 foot wall to climb at the end. Once you get to the top of that rope, you've got to sort of shout your name, and then the timer stops. You'll be extremely out of breath because it's such a short test, but it's 100% maximum effort, and you're going all out throughout it. So you really, I'm really out of breath when I finished that. It was difficult to say my name. But yeah, that for me, that was the hardest one. Some guys loved it, some guys found the endurance course hardest, some guys found 30 miler harder. I don't think anyone found the 9 miler hard. But yeah, so each individual person will find other ones more difficult than the other. It just depends on the individual. The next day is the 30 miler, and then you'll get up first thing, I think it's about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. I think you get up about 4 o'clock, have your food, and then I think you're hitting the road at about 5 AM then to start your run. And it's 30 miles with kit. You've got a bit more kit this time. It works out about £50 that you're carrying on you. So it's not too much. It's enough to run with. And then you go along, and you go at quite a slow pace. You normally run the first bit, and then you walk up all the hills, and then you run the downhills and flats, and that's the way they tend to run it. That's the way they tend to sort of operate it. So you're running, walking until you get to the 30 mile point, and you've got 8 hours to do that. So once you complete your 30 miler, then that's you. You get handed your green beret at the end. If you fail any of these, you do get the opportunity to do them again. So if you fail the endurance course, you'll do it after the night, pretty much straight after the 9 miler. If you fail I don't know about the 9 miler because nobody failed it. If you fail the Tarzan, you do that again in the afternoon. And if you fail the 30 miler, you do it again, I think a day or two after. How does one prepare and train for these? Right, I'd love to be able to tell you some hack or some plan that will get you ready to go for these tests. But what I am going to say is, if you haven't started training yet, do not worry about these tests. Just focus on getting at the highest standard of fitness you can, because training is progressive. That's the whole point of it. They don't expect you to come there and then be a commando at the end. It's training, it's progressive. So you start off with the level of fitness they want you to have, which is what they're telling you to have, which is to be able to run X amount of miles in X amount of time, get X amount on the bleep test, do this amount of press-ups, do that amount of pull-ups, do that amount of sit-ups. That's what the PRMC's for, is to ascertain your fitness and see if you have the potential to move on. So once you've got to that, which is why a lot of people talk about, oh my god, the press-ups, how many press-ups do I have to do? Do not worry about it. That is just an entrance test. It's just to see if you've got the potential to be developed upon. So you'll start through training down here, and this is after your PRMC tests and things like that, and you'll do them again then when you start with group training to make sure you've improved. They will build you up step by step in a progressive manner, so that by the time you get to 32 weeks, you're up here and you're ready to do those tests. So do not worry about them in the slightest. Don't think about them, just say they're there at the end. You'll be fit enough to do them by the time you get them, otherwise they won't let you do them. You wouldn't have got through training if you haven't got the ability to do them. And if you are actually in training now, I know a couple of my subscribers and viewers are in training, do not worry about them. Don't try and do extra training on top of what they're giving you. There's a program in place. There's written down somewhere. They probably put it on the board, I don't know. But there is a program in place that is designed to be progressive. If you look at when you first began training, you were in the gym, you were just using bodyweight exercises, then you started adding a little bit of weight, then you started adding a little bit more weight, then you started doing rope climbs with just your body weight, and then you added your kit, and then you added a water bottle, and then you built the weight up until you could do it with full kit. It's the same with, that's what training is progressively challenging, constantly challenging you, constantly progressing you to get you fit enough to be at the commando level of fitness by the end of it. So my advice to you, if you are in training, don't try and second guess the program. Don't try and go, right, I'm going to do arms today because I don't think I've been training my arms enough. Just stick to the program. Let your body recover. If there's no training on a certain day or whatever, that's there for a reason. That's there for you, allow your body to rest and develop and get stronger, so that you can continue to get fitter and reduce the likelihood of you getting injured or tearing a muscle or damaging your tendons before you complete the training. It's all there for a reason. So don't try and second guess it. Anyway, I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you understand now why at the beginning of the video I said I didn't really want to make this video, because I didn't want people to think too much about that at that point. Take every day at a time, just focus on what you've got in front of you, do that, and then move on to the next challenge or the next test, because there are tests as you go throughout to make sure you're progressing and make sure you're actually developing and getting yourself closer. I'd like to take this time now to encourage you to subscribe, like the video, leave a comment, let me know what you think, let me know what you want to see. And as you can see by this video, popular demand does get me to make a video. Thank you very much, have a great day, thank you so much for watching, bye bye.